What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Barbells and Trails podcast, episode 31. And today, I don't have Riley with me. I have a new guest today. His name's Kelvin. I don't know your last name. Well, I do, but I'd never try because I don't want to ever fuck it up.
Yeah, well, today's not going to be the day, so that's all right.
It's not. So, I've talked about you on the podcast. I've meant to have you on multiple times. I just am terrible about asking because I feel awkward about it. But you were supposed to come on the live stream with everybody else. You just got wrapped up in military shit.
Yeah, I couldn't make that one. But.
Yeah, no, it was... I mean, I don't know how it would have worked out with another person. It was already a tight squeeze with all of us, but...
Well, that's what I seen. I was like, man, there wouldn't have even been anywhere to sit unless you're just on the fucking floor telling campfire stories. But.
Pretty much. That's why next time we are going to try finding a different way to do it, at least where we're not probably in here, maybe in the living room, or... I even told Josh, I was like, hey, if you got an Ethernet cable or we got Wi-Fi in your barn, fuck it, let's do a live stream out there or something. Like,
so everyone can watch us put golf balls through the barn door.
Yeah, exactly.
Go ahead and get off of the trusty old casting couch here and
no
something else.
Change it up a bit. I think they're tired of the casting couch, maybe.
No one's ever tired of the casting couch.
But no, so did you watch back any of that live stream at all? Like,
no.
Have you at least watched the clips?
Oh yeah, I've seen the clips cycle through.
Yes, yeah. It was an interesting evening. I mean, it's kind of crazy because, I mean, people probably didn't realize I haven't recorded a podcast now in over 2 weeks because me and Riley recorded early for Thanksgiving since I've been gone and all this shit. I mean, since we did the live stream, which was only 3 weeks ago, pretty much, or just almost 4. I mean, we did that to celebrate basically 100 subscribers, and now we're on the brink of 175 already. So we've damn near doubled our subscribers, and probably in less than 2 months if things keep going at this rate.
I guess that's just word of mouth at some point, though. I mean, as it gets more popular, it shows up in other people's faces.
Yeah, so. Between that and then shorts, we've been posting a lot more shorts. I know that's been helping. Like, we just had our most viewed day. Was it yesterday? Almost 9,000 views in one day. So
fuck, dude.
Yeah. I mean,
that's an actual lot.
Yeah, I know. So it's the shorts definitely help with that aspect, but I was like, shit, dude, we should hit 200 subs by the end of the year. Me and Riley both kind of projected that we probably should have 1,000 if we keep at it by July and everything of next year. So. Fuck, we'll see what happens.
Well, I said at that point, though, it probably keeps compounding. So if things go on a common trend, it'll probably even be sooner than that.
Exactly.
But I guess the Christmas party is just going to have to be a half and half.
Well, yeah. Wait, what?
Yeah,
Christmas party?
I thought we were having a Christmas party.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, what do you mean a half and half?
Fucking live streamed Christmas party.
Just come over here and like just bounce back and forth?
No, if you want a real PR nightmare, just put the camera in the garage.
Oh no. I don't know if I want to risk that. We already almost had a PR issue on the live stream. But I was gonna mention
the people will speak. Give them what they want. It's up to you, America.
Well, I mean, I was considering. Me and Riley would need to talk about it, but I was like, oh shit, like I like the live stream thing. We talked about doing one a month, maybe not quite as long or have as many people as we did last time until maybe we hit another milestone like 500 or 1,000 subs. But I was gonna possibly ask you or Freddie to be like, hey, you guys want to just do a live stream with like either us 3 or 4, or like a Christmas live stream or some shit here in 2-3 weeks or whatever. So you never know. We could do it.
Yeah, I'm sitting here thinking, you know what we should have done?
Uh-oh.
It's a little late now, but I guess there's always next year.
Yeah? What?
Take these bitches on the golf course.
Oh, I've already contemplated this. Me and Riley talked about it. He's like, I just don't know how that would work. And I was like, we could do it. I don't think we could do it live. That would make it 10 times more difficult.
Not live.
But just record and do a podcast with lav mics and shit and just have our phones recording, we could definitely figure that out and do that. So me and Riley already talked about next year that being something we might fuck with.
I think that'd be a good time.
Oh, that'd be interesting as hell. and just have everybody mic'd up the entire time, and cutting back and forth every once in a while,
That'd
just
be
the two
really
carts.
They're really bad, but really funny.
Yeah, I don't know if we'd make that a regular episode because that'd also take probably a lot more time to like. Well, I'm saying like scheduled episode because that'd probably take a lot more time to edit and put together. But I think it'd be fucking hilarious.
Oh, the schedule. They get it when they get it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Dude,
we'll just post
it. Just have a mic on everybody and one phone at the top of each cart, like looking in.
Oh, dude.
Into each cart.
Oh.
And that would be a fucking disaster.
Oh, it would, but it would be a lot of fun. It would be funny to go through and watch.
What's that scene from The Simpsons where he's like, "Please don't tell people I live like this"?
Yeah, it would definitely be an interesting time, but it's been crazy. I was surprised by how many subs we've had from some of these videos, and yeah, we had one cross our biggest milestone, got 11,000 views just off one short. So it's not up to Josh's standards with his one fucking short that has damn near 200,000 views, but
Josh has shorts?
Yeah, he has one. Yeah, he's posted some random shit. Some of it's like Chief and his dog, but there's one of BJ. I don't know if you remember. Were you with us when we golfed with BJ?
Yeah.
His kid, they were floating down the river, and he's recording him, and he's like, "I gotta pee," and he's like, "Well, pee, you're in the river," and then he's sitting there, and he's like, "I'm peeing," and like that's basically all it is a kid pissing his pants in the river. And
I didn't know Josh
he
even
uploaded
was like putting shit on YouTube to begin with.
He uploaded it. I don't know how long it took for it to take off, but yeah, it has like his channel has like 300 subs almost and 200,000 views off of that one video.
Does he just like post videos of him building the random shit in his garage?
No, like that's the thing. He just posted like a couple of random things, and that was one of them. And for some reason, it like launched. It was so funny. Like one day, I was like, okay, we gotta like log into your YouTube studio. I want to look at this shit because I'm like, no fucking way. And yeah, it's ridiculous. He's like, yeah, it actually got taken down for a while, and I emailed like YouTube cussing them out because they said it was like child sexuality, like sexual shit. And
no
stuff.
Shit.
Yeah, and so it got removed, and so he basically emailed him as like, my nephew's fucking crying. He loved looking at it every day, seeing the views go up. I can't believe you're doing this to this little kid. Like all this stuff, sent it in there, and they allowed it to. They brought it back.
That's fucked.
Because in the end, it's not bad. It is like just a childish little video, but yeah, because of the context, somebody probably reported it, and so it got flagged. But yeah, it's ridiculous. That's why he gives me shit all the time. He's like, yeah, I got more views and subscribers than you, and I don't even fucking do this shit. I'm like, you asshole.
He's like, I'd say something if you weren't right.
That's why I'm sitting there like the crazy thing was I was talking to Andrew before vacation. And I didn't even think about it, and I looked at our total views. I was like, oh shit, we're up to like 55,000. That's fucking awesome. Like on the channel. I was like, that's crazy to kind of think about. Shit, we just crossed 75 like yesterday or 2 days ago. So I'm like, shit. I was like, it's not in one video, but fucking Josh, I'm coming for your ass. Like, I think that's my goal, is to get to the point where we've crossed Josh and subscribers and views, and I can just say fuck you.
Yeah, but then he's just gonna turn around and be like, well, look at
start
this
posting.
Other thing that I'm
yeah, he's gonna start posting. Then all of a sudden his channel just skyrockets, and I'll be like, you fuck.
Like, you're not allowed to use the golf simulator.
Yeah, right. Yeah. He'll do something.
You sit in the corner and watch us play.
You're the beer bitch. You just hand us alcohol.
Ball catcher.
Yeah. Oh no, I don't want that job. Not in there. Not at all. So, I have mentioned you on the podcast. You are. I have a weird accommodation of friends. Like, you're my Florida boy, but so's Freddie. But you got English heritage. You're the military guy, and then Freddie's the Mexican crazy dude, and then you got Josh, just the tatted redneck.
You're worried about them and TR. You're bad at this shit yourself.
I am, but I mean, if you didn't know, I called Freddie out on the podcast, being like, "You're fake. You don't even speak Spanish." Because he's sitting there, he's like, "Dude, I don't know Spanish that well." I was like, "You kidding?" I was
like, Freddie fake. He got shot.
That's a lie, and you know it. But But anyways,
you gotta let the people know.
Well, no, we're sitting there, we're talking. He's like, yeah, like we're like, hey, Freddie, what's this mean in Spanish? He's like, fuck, I don't know. I was like, what do you mean you don't know? And he's like, I don't speak Spanish that often. Like, you lose it if you don't use it. And I was like, and you were gonna charge me to be my translator, and you don't know how to fucking speak Spanish? I was like, what is this shit?
Dude, I completely forgot about that whole conversation y'all had about Freddie going to the showings with you.
Yeah, being my Spanish translator for real estate. And so, no, when he when he did that, I called him out. I was like, I can't believe you. I was like, you're screwing me over right now. Yeah. It's like, this is terrible. I was like, bro, you have Spanish TikToks pop up. And he's like, yeah, 1 in 20. I was like, yeah, that's 10 times more than mine. I was like, I don't have a single Spanish TikTok show up on my shit. So it's like, don't tell me you can't speak.
Freddie is just intrusive thoughts materialized.
Bro, he is, and that's the thing. Is I don't think you got that off of the live stream just because of how chaotic it was, especially just with Josh and Brian alone. Like, that was the thing both me and Riley and Freddie talked about afterwards. So it was like, they were great entertainment, but at least with how we did it, it didn't quite work because I don't think they understood, like, yeah, like, you kind of have to bounce around between people. You can't just both talk and do all this stuff because it's like it's all coming through one thing. It's like, imagine if you were watching a TV show and everyone was talking at once. It don't work. And so I think there was some misunderstanding on that part, but it's still so entertaining. But no, I don't feel like people understood exactly how Freddie's personality is. That's why, like, both me and Riley were like, we need to get everybody that was on the live stream, and then you also just like to come on separately and just like vibe and see how it goes.
The only way you'll ever experience Freddie as Freddie is in person.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You can't get the experience through that.
I don't think so.
This.
Yeah,
like.
Not fully.
It's just when you're just sitting there doing nothing, and he just says some completely
that's true.
out of
that's
pocket
very true.
Shit.
Yes, it's the most random thing, and we named it over a year ago, and I don't remember. It was between the two of us, but I don't know if it was me or you. But we're talking about Freddie, and at one point, one of us was like, "Yeah, Freddie is the intrusive thoughts. Like, he lives that, and that's just his personality." And then at that same time, both you and me were like, holy shit, we just like struck gold. That's exactly how I would describe him. Like, he is your internal intrusive thought.
He's always
manifested.
He's always trying to be that devil on your shoulder. Like, do it. It'll be funny. Do it.
Hit the puppy. Like, you're like, what? No.
You're like, and you look at him. You're like, Freddie, you do it. He's like, no, I don't want to fucking do that. Like,
he's always trying to get you into shit and never himself. And it did get brought up on the podcast. Was like, Freddie manipulates you, Brett. And I was like, I know.
Yeah, he does. Not trying to talk you out of it. Yeah. It doesn't work.
No, it's like he just keeps pushing. Like, even Brian at times would be at work. We'd be talking about something. He's like, Freddie should be a salesman because he's relentless. Like, he will just keep going at you. And I'm like, he doesn't. I feel like he does it with me the most. And it's because he knows I can give in. But
he knows you're weak-minded.
It's only with, like, Freddie and some, like, close friends where that might happen. Like, if it was most other people, I'd probably be like, nah. But Freddie is just very relentless. And then eventually I'm just like, just to get him to shut up, I'll be like, yeah. And that was the thing that got brought up. I was like, yeah, me and Freddie he's almost like an older brother relationship. So it's like when your older brother kind of fucking gets you into situations and tries pushing you and getting you to do shit, you kind of just fall in line at one point. I can't do anything about it. I was like, I don't know. I don't have an older brother, so I guess I'm just rolling with whatever the fuck he says.
Freddie dictates.
Bro, 100%. He does. It's like, God tonight? No. Like, I'll see you at 7. And you're like, fuck, I guess I'll be on at 7.
Well, hey, what are you doing? I'm just hanging out at the house. He's like, all right, cool. See you at the windmill in 15. Like, what?
Yeah. It's like, he's like, what you doing? Oh, nothing, just eating. You'll be online in 2 minutes. Cool. Zombies? Yeah. Like, just like, fuck, what?
He just manifests.
What are you talking about? Bro, 100%. He just says it, and then he's like, it will happen. Like, that's what's going on in his head. But no, yeah, so the thing is, I always thought you would be amazing to come on this podcast. I was like, honestly, if you didn't have as busy as a schedule as you do with everything you do, I was contemplating before getting Riley involved was seeing if you would want to do this. Because I was like, you may have some, like, super long, in-depth conversations without trying, and we just get into it. Like, you've had times where I've been at your house, I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta go, and then we talk for an hour and a half, and I'm like, what time is it? Like, fuck, I should have been home an hour ago.
Oh, hey, I just gotta come pick up my sunglasses that she left at the house.
Yeah.
All right, cool. That was 2 hours ago.
Yeah, like, shit, we've gotten into topics of, like, just at your house with, like, nuclear warfare and the history of, like, nuclear technology.
They don't need to know about that. The internet doesn't need to know about that.
It's just history. It's history facts. What are you talking about?
Hey, now, that being said, I finally saw the Oppenheimer movie.
I haven't seen it. I still haven't seen it.
I finally saw it.
Was it good?
Yes, watch it.
I've heard mixed reviews,
Watch it. Fuck everybody else, watch it.
Okay. I'll watch it. I can do that.
Like, I'm not the type of person to sit around and listen to the TV talk to me for 3 hours. Because, like, obviously that movie is a very, like, there's a lot of talking and narration.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah.
It's not an action movie.
No.
It's not an epic. It's not comedy. But, like, I always found myself, like, wanting to listen to what they were saying. So I'll be completely honest with you. The way they do the story, it's kind of hard to keep track of, but I think that keeps you engaged. So there's almost like 3 stories going on at once.
That's what I heard. Is it kind of similar to kind of like Dunkirk? I don't know if you ever watched that war movie.
I didn't watch that one.
Where basically similar situation where it's one location, one event, but through the eyes of 3 different people happening in 3 different time frames.
No, it's not that.
No, it's not.
No, so it is the one story, but it's the one complete story, but it's being told. So break it down to 3 chapters.
Yeah,
those 3 chapters are being told simultaneously.
Oh,
and it kind of keeps like bouncing back and forwards as what's relevant at the end reveals how something was set up at the beginning.
Okay.
So it kind of bounces back and forwards, and honestly, like by like 3/4 into it, like it felt like a whodunit type of murder mystery.
Oh.
Like that's how I got engaged in the story, was because they're hinting, they keep hinting that somebody must have done this, somebody must have done that, like, and they're pointing blame, and the flashbacks are showing, and they're jumping forwards, and they're talking, and you know, like the jumping around reveals another part of the puzzle.
Yeah.
And so it literally felt like a murder mystery.
Damn.
To me, at least.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I would probably really enjoy that because I'm kind of into that kind of thing. Speaking of murder mysteries, I know this is kind of off topic, but did you ever see that one movie? I know they got the new one, whatever it is, like Murder on the Nile, which I think was like supposed to be like same director and writer for it, but the original was Nice Out and had like Chris Evans and a bunch of other big actors in it.
No, I don't remember that, but I was gonna go see Murder on the Nile.
Yeah,
and then I just didn't.
I didn't see that one. I saw the first one. Really good. Like, I mean, the first one I feel like is the most like clues brought to life. Like that's 100% kind of like how it felt. It's like, oh, you got this old wealthy man, all the family dies very suddenly. Like we kind of know what happens, but it's shady. Don't totally know how or why that happened. And then who's the money getting left to? What's going on here? And then trying to piece it all together. And it was, I saw it in theaters and I was like, I was not expecting this to be so engaging, but it was good. Like I'm not typically into like murder mystery movies, but every now and again, like that one, I was like, damn, like that was a good one.
I'm into like, I like it when something like there's a puzzle to be solved. It's like a puzzle. Like it takes a lot of intricate knowledge. Even if it's stuff above my own means, I just find it so fascinating to like actually look into it and shit like that.
Yeah.
Like,
so kind of like Saul. We were talking about that. So similar thing like, where it's like, yeah, there's more to it.
Yeah,
like
even
the backstory.
But like more than just flat out hiding the evidence, but when it's very smartly put out and it's misleading and all this other stuff, like when it
where
actually
you gotta piece it all together.
Think, yeah.
Yes. And I feel like that's where that movie did very well. Where I feel like Murder on the Nile, I don't know. I feel like it's probably similar, but like I feel like the first one was just so integral to like that kind of like clue, that kind of idea, because it's like, oh, you're in this mansion of this murder mystery author, and like all this stuff, and oh, like this is missing, this is weird, why was there footprints here, like, you know, like that kind of thing. And then over time, eventually you pick up the whole story and what actually unfolded like the night of the murder.
Yeah.
And all that shit. So those kind of movies are kind of fun because they do keep you engaged and you're just like, you just feel the tension. You're like, who is it? Like,
all right, so I'm gonna out myself here.
Oh, okay.
On something that I keep up with.
Should I be concerned?
Yes, I've committed several felonies.
Oh, okay.
No.
Wow. Damn. Okay.
I have not. There have been enough investigations on me, which sounds bad in its own sense.
It does, but
I have a security clearance for the Army, so
Yep.
I passed that background check.
You're good.
I passed background check for the state police. So the disclaimer's out of the way. I make a lot of fucked up jokes, but I'm innocent.
yes, he's good.
I also get piss tested on a regular basis for the military,
I do that.
so I can also joke about that.
I assist. I just
You
hold the cup.
Yeah. Eye contact, not gay. No.
Good
So-
game. Good game.
So, going back to me outing myself here. This is actually a conversation I had at work the other day, and this is how you know it's gonna be dumb. It says, here's how the conversation started, and it was the guy who works across from me goes, "Hey, did you see the Five Nights at Freddy's movie?"
Oh, okay. You did.
No, I didn't.
Oh,
I did not
I
watch
was
the
about to
movie.
say. I was like, I didn't.
I did not watch the movie. However,
Afterwards.
Yeah. I keep up with the online theories pretty regularly
Of Five Nights at Freddy's?
Yes.
Or okay.
of like the game series, because, and
Yeah. Okay.
when he said this, I asked myself, I was like, Jesus Christ, I have been, and why have I been doing this? And that's when I looked it up and I saw that the original game came out in like 2014 or 2016 or something like that.
Yeah, 2014 sounds about right.
2014.
Yeah.
I was in middle school when
Mhm.
that shit
Yeah.
came out. So we were in middle school when that shit came out. So it's like, when that shit came out, it appealed to us,
Mhm.
right? So like, I remember playing the first game. I remember playing it in class, and you know, like, we were supposed to be quiet and studying, and someone's fucking playing it under their desk, and they fucking jump and kick the desk, and we all laugh and call him an idiot, and it was a good time. But so as the stories come out, the guy who makes the game, he hides a lot of shit in the games.
Okay.
And as the time has gone on, he's gotten smarter and smarter and smarter with his puzzles and the way he hides shit. And it's like, I don't even give a fuck what they're uncovering. It's just like how they're going about it is like crazy to me. Like, so one of the things that he started doing was he has his own website, and people who know how to access, like, there's going to be the one person that knows about this technology and how computers work.
Yeah.
And they're going to be so fucking pissed listening to me try to explain it. So
Yeah.
I don't know a goddamn thing about computers. That is a magic rock that we tricked into thinking. Like, that is all a fucking computer is to me. It is magic.
Yeah, okay.
Like, but
Okay.
so,
Yeah.
so like the source code is what I think it's called.
okay.
So
Yeah,
the
yeah.
source code of the website, he was hiding conversations about the story inside the source code.
Wow.
And depending on what day it was uploading like sentences from each side of the story. But it wasn't just like, oh, you scrolled down to the bottom and there it was. You had to pick out bits and pieces that would be in a slightly different color or a slightly different font. You know, like you could scan by it and miss it, but all of it was hidden there in the middle.
Mhm.
So he's hiding shit in his source code. There was like a lot of stuff where it's like, oh, you take this image and you brighten it, it hides shit in the background. That's not really that interesting. But another one I found interesting was apparently there's this thing you can do where you can take a sound wave, put it through some fucking whatever magic, and you get a picture out of a sound wave.
Yeah. I've heard of that.
Dude, what the fuck? That shit's insane to me. He's hiding story,
Yeah.
like, so there were story elements.
All
hidden.
for okay, I have to admit, all for Five Nights at Freddy's, that is like insane.
Yeah, so
'Cause-
there was just a random sound in a random part of the game off in a distance. Somebody took that audio clip, put it into this fucking thing, and found something in like a key piece to the puzzle of the story that they were trying to figure out, hidden in the picture of a sound wave. Like, that's fucking insane
That's
to
insane
me.
for a video game. That is that by a developer. That's nuts. Like, I was gonna like say, I don't know if you've ever heard of this, but something I guess reasonably similar along the lines of decoding and that kind of stuff. I think it's called Cicada. What was it?
I know. I've heard of that.
Yeah. What is it? It's a Cicada
It's
one.
three numbers.
Yeah.
It's 3 numbers
Whatever.
or something.
But it was something on 4chan, just sending out these random messages, decoding all this stuff, and it went over a period of years, and they had multiple waves of it, where it's like, oh, all these different locations around the world, and like you decipher this GPS coordinate, and then there's this number on this pole, and then you call this number, you get this piece of the puzzle, like all this different shit, but then you never find out what the fuck it was for. And I think someone ended up breaking it down later on, where it was like almost like a training thing to see who was able to solve these puzzles to basically work for, I think it was like the NSA or some shit, of like being able to decipher
that's
stuff.
what I had heard, was it was actually supposed to be like a recruiting thing.
Yes, basically to try finding who's the best of the best of this shit. And it's like, I watched a video on that shit, and that is wild, where it's like, nope, don't got the time or the care to fucking even try, because it's like, some of it is like, I find puzzles and figuring shit out, that kind of stuff, fun, but when it gets into that shit, I was like, fuck, I give up.
That's where I'm at. Like, I'm not smart enough to tackle this shit on my own, but like, whenever people figure this shit out and then they upload it, breaking it down, all this shit, dude, I'm so fascinated.
You watch videos? Yeah.
I'm fascinated by it. And that's why, and that's when I sat there and like, he asked me if I fucking watched the movie, and I'm like, no, I don't want to fucking watch the movie. I don't really fucking care about that. And then I sat there and I thought about it, and I was like, oh my God, I've watched every fucking video about like the shit coming out.
Yeah.
But like, I couldn't give a fuck less about the story. I just love how people are finding this information and how smart people are about going about it. Like,
yeah.
Fuck, there was one where like the character was talking, and there's the text at the bottom, and somebody had noticed that like the color had changed ever so slightly, and then so they go into the game files and they found the exact identifier for that color, and found that it had changed like one minuscule shade, and so they were like, oh my God, somebody else is talking in that last line. And then so that had also huge implications for what was going on. But they found it out just because in the source code it is one shade off.
What the hell?
It just jumped to a different shade. So it was like, that has to be somebody else talking.
Yeah, I never got into that game that much to even ever hear about that. But I do understand what you mean when it comes to like nerding out over like lore kind of shit, like background stories of things. Like, dude, the amount of videos I've watched of like people breaking down movies that I just haven't seen, and I'm like, I want all this explained to me. Like, break it down, do the in-depth shit. Like, where did they get this story? What is this from? Or even like video games, like Halo lore as a kid. Like, that was one of my favorite games. And like breaking down the full backstory of what all happened and the full story, and putting it all together from all the like game campaigns, because it's like I didn't have the chance to play all of them, but to know the whole timeline and that kind of shit. Oh yeah, like I've nerded out to that shit, and I've probably never talked about it before, but fuck, the amount of hours I've probably spent watching YouTube videos on shit like that, countless. so I can't bash you at all for like Five Nights at Freddy's stuff.
It was never like it was never about the lore. It was about like, how the fuck are these people figuring out this random shit hidden in the middle of fucking nowhere? Like, I love that side of it, but like, I guess it's all the same in the end. Like what I'm consuming is still the lore. Yeah. So like the video is the same, but my enjoyment factor just comes from like looking at this shit and people who know how to do this stuff and like notice these details, notice how to put this to that and like all this other shit, and it's just like,
yeah, yours is the fascination of like the detail that the guy put into like the code.
I appreciate the effort that went into it.
You appreciate that. I appreciate the detail and effort that some like game developers and writers put into creating worlds. That's why like I love Game of Thrones shit, because I've watched videos on that, breaking down characters and like how he came up with some of the stuff, where like even Avatar: The Last Airbender, it's very, very nerdy, and then it's a fucking cartoon, but like thinking about like, oh shit, like they designed these different fucking forms of bending for this show by watching martial artists and be like, okay, we're gonna use that for this element, and it's because it's free flowing and all this stuff, and like taking different Eastern backgrounds to represent different shit in their fucking kids cartoons. Like, that is what's impressive to me, because it's like they took so much time and effort developing and researching stuff just to make their show that much better. And even though most people might not realize it or appreciate it, it's like for the people that do, it's like, oh shit, like they spent a lot of time to really for them know how much effort they put in, but half the time it's not appreciated.
If you wanna talk about a show that you can appreciate the creators going more than the extra mile,
What show?
Futurama.
It's fair. Yeah, I haven't watched much, but I could see that. I feel like that'd be like kind of similar to, because I've watched like people do breakdowns of like Rick and Morty episodes, like all the little shit of like, oh, this is from this, or this is from an episode fucking 4 years ago, and this calls back to that, or shit like that. So like, I would understand that.
Futurama's constantly calling back to what happened.
Yeah, exactly.
It is one story, but like the shit that's going on in the background of Futurama, like most people never see.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the thing people don't know about the writing staff. Several Harvard degrees. Other guys went to Yale, all in like advanced like mathematics and aerospace engineering. Like these guys are fucking smart, and now they're writing an adult cartoon.
Yeah,
I don't know how the fuck they found themselves in that position.
Yeah, I don't know. That is kind of
They're
weird.
all incredibly educated individuals that are now writing a cartoon. And so there's just shit hidden in the background that's so smart. They had no reason to go that far.
Mm-hmm.
Like in one episode, and I love Futurama, and I will say that I've watched every episode at least fucking 3 times.
Yeah,
that's the thing I put on the background while I was doing something else, and I just let the fucking seasons flow. Love Futurama. It's my favorite show of all time.
Yeah, it is nice when you see that kind of like extra detail put in that you might not realize, but then it's like, oh fuck, you find out about it, and it's like, so they actually put some time into this detail. It might be one split second in a scene, but it's like it's there. It's like, oh, that's pretty wild.
So in this episode, the fucking professor in it makes a machine that switches minds.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is like me and you, if we switch minds, we can't switch back.
Yeah.
You can only switch with other people, but you can never switch back to the person you just switched with.
Okay.
So they switch minds. They realize it doesn't work backwards. So now the whole is like, holy fuck! Like, how do we get back into our bodies if we can't switch back?
Mm-hmm.
And so they're trying to do the math, and they're like, fuck! Like, how do we do this? Like, they're trying to figure out how many people they need and all this other stuff. And at the end of the episode, the conclusion the professor comes to, and he's like, it doesn't matter how many people we have. We will only ever need 2 additional people for everybody to get back to their own bodies if you follow this formula. And he has a formula on the whiteboard in the background. They did the actual fucking math.
Yeah.
They made the actual formula for that. Yeah, and it's right, and it's all drawn out on the whiteboard in the show. Yeah. There's no fucking reason for them to do that. They could have just said whatever.
It could have just been random shit on the wall. But
they could just put gibberish and said, oh, this works because I said so, because this is a future... future technologies.
I know what you mean.
No, they did the math.
No, there's been
made
shit
the
like
formula.
That. There's been shit like that on Rick and Morty where someone's pointed out these numbers and calculations. It's like, no, that's an actual fucking formula. That's the actual math besides like the speed of gravity per second plus this and all this shit. It's like, no, they actually put some real shit in it, and that is kind of cool when you notice that stuff. Like the whole thing that honestly got me down that kind of thing where I feel like filled that itch as a teenager for the first time was like, I don't know if you've ever heard of this YouTube channel. I was always a big fan of like animated and like Disney movies as a kid, like one of my favorites categories. But like there's a channel called Super Carl and Brothers, and they would break down like Easter eggs and like old Disney movies and be like, oh, this same thing pops up in these different movies, or like how a lot of the artists that create many Disney movies through the past have gone to one of the same art studios. So like a specific number pops up in many of the different movies because it's like, oh, that's like one of the well-renowned like classrooms that a lot of these people have studied at.
Oh,
and, like that kind of stuff, like just like different stuff like that. So I would watch like their videos and then break down like all these Easter eggs that pop up in all these movies that connect them to this and that and whatever, or specific characters or writers. Be like, you didn't know this, but this is actually the name of the sound director, and they like slid it into the movie and like stuff like that. And
they
stuff
you
would never know.
Little shit like that all the time.
Yeah,
like throwing names of people and friends
it'd be
there.
Yeah, it's not, and that's one reason why I love those kind of people that do those kind of YouTube videos to break that down, because it's like, in the end, is it kind of useless information, but it's still cool to find out. And then it's like this person spent however long compiling all this info, and then putting it together for you. And it's like, oh, sweet. Now I just get to ingest all that info and just be like, cool.
I think the only like behind the scenes information from Disney that I've ever found like amusing enough to commit to memory is the fact that the animators that had to work on Shrek was a punishment.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
It was a punishment for them to go work on Shrek. They had two projects going on. They had the Prince of Egypt and they had Shrek, and everybody thought for sure that the movie Prince of Egypt, that was going to be the big ticket. That was going to be the seller. And they've got this stupid, bloody cartoon about an ogre and a princess and whatever.
Blows out of the water.
Yeah, and so they were like, the people who were underperforming on the Prince of Egypt project and they weren't happy with their performance, they sent them to work on Shrek instead.
Oh, wow.
And they said it was like in a different part of the studio, and it was like the older part, it was run down, and it was a punishment by all, like it wasn't officially, but by all intents and purposes, it was a punishment. And then Shrek became Shrek, and nobody knows what the fuck Prince of Egypt is.
I mean, I do, but yeah.
Not in a grand sense.
Yeah, no, not like Shrek.
Yeah, no, Shrek became Shrek, and it was a fucking punishment.
Yeah, that is kind of crazy to think about. But no, those kind of things are always really cool to see, like the little details that certain artists and writers put into different shit for that kind of stuff. I don't know. It's just fun. Like some people are just super creative where it's like, I don't know if I could be that in depth to come up with something as like constructed as some of those movies or other stuff, but it's always cool to really dig into it and appreciate it.
I think it's really hard to keep the balance between like keeping it suspenseful, like there's enough evidence drops where something's going on, but not giving it away at the same time.
Mm-hmm. And if someone does it really well, it's like, damn.
Walking that tightrope of leaving the breadcrumbs but not giving it away is, I think, like an art form in its own sense.
Yeah. There is an art form to movies, and some people would say like watching a bunch of movies is a waste of time, and in certain aspects it is. That's why like some people would find it weird, but that's why in certain instances it's like there's probably a lot of movies I've watched breakdowns on that I've never watched, like actually watched, but I still find it interesting to know the plots of these movies and like how like these different writers came about this story or how they developed it and how they filmed it. And like it's nerdy, but it's cool to see because it's like there's way more thought into it than you ever realize. Like even like watching Avatar: Way of Water. Like, did you watch that?
Yes, unfortunately.
Yeah, you don't like that. You don't like
no.
them, but
God,
like,
no. If you haven't watched it, don't. It's a waste of fucking time.
Don't listen to him. But anyways, just like to know the amount of effort that like James Cameron put into trying to make the movie look and feel a certain way when it comes to like spending his own money and budget to help develop like the technology to film underwater and like having them trained to do like free diving to record all the underwater scenes and like all this different shit. It's just like something that most directors just would not fuck with or spend the time doing. And it's cool to see that kind of stuff.
The animations look like Call of Duty cutscenes.
No, they don't. They're not that bad.
Otherwise,
no, they're not.
The animation is overrated, and you can achieve the same. When that movie first fucking came, when the first Avatar came out, the CGI was revolutionary.
Yeah.
In this movie, it ain't shit. Like it's not impressive, and it's CGI.
No,
and it shows
say...
these vast landscapes of computer-generated images. Like I fucking care. It looked like watching Planet Earth in CGI.
Yeah. But
yeah,
I mean, you're not wrong in that aspect. Like, yes, it's CGI.
There's countless scenes in the movie where there's nothing but the landscape and the water and the fucking life. It's not life. It's computer fucking graphics. I don't care. I don't care about this vast landscape of made-up pixels.
I mean,
you look me in the eyes and tell me it doesn't do it at least like 8 to 10 times where there's 15 to 20 seconds of nothing but the animated landscape.
It probably does. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not going to deny that.
Yeah.
But I mean, at the same time, if
Who
you go
the fuck
back...
wants to watch that? It's
like, if you go back, and I didn't realize it until I rewatched the first one and then watched the second one, I was like, oh, shit. Like, not saying the first one looks bad, because it doesn't. It still holds up. But you can definitely see the improvements from the first movie to the second movie if you watch them again. Like, CGI-wise. You can be like, it's not aged poorly like some movies do, but at the same time you're like, oh wow, yeah, there's still a fucking crazy step up.
There
in detail.
is, but it's like there's a step up in the animation, but it's not a step up compared to everything else that's out there. And that's my point.
True.
So like when the first Avatar came out, it was like everything else, the fucking Avatar movie.
Yeah.
Now it's like the Avatar movie, everything else.
Yeah.
And I don't care about that minuscule gap.
I think the biggest advancement that they did when it came to the CGI shit was the stuff they were able to film in like the water stuff. Because it's like no other movie's done that. Nobody's done that.
No part of me knew they actually filmed that in the water.
Yeah, like they trained them all to do free diving and hold their breath, and they would film underwater for like 4 hours and just run an oxygen hose.
See, my thing is like I want to be impressed by that, but considering I had literally zero idea and I couldn't tell it apart from any of the other animated sequences, it's lost on me.
That's fair, but I also like quickly after that movie, just because I think it happened to be on, I had seen like basically behind the scenes breakdowns of how they filmed some shit, so it like gave me a little more appreciation for it. Like I'm not denying that like compared to other shit nowadays, I don't feel like you said, I don't think it's steps above everything else when it just comes to the regular CGI type, because CGI's advanced so much because of the movies that's been made the past 6 years that it's like, yeah, it's not outrageous, but it's still, in general, I don't dislike that movie. Like that's just
the story is also trash.
I'm not saying it's great, but I would say
trash.
It's the worst. There's definitely worse movies.
There's so many plot. There's worse movies. Sharknado exists. Like, what's your point?
Yeah.
Nobody put fucking Sharknado on a pedestal like they did this movie. What do you mean?
See, I don't know if I put it on a pedestal, but I also wouldn't like bat on it like some people did. You know, I guess that's just me. I guess what did you dislike about the movie so much? No, you would not. Don't lie to me. Don't lie to me.
At least that movie's fun. That movie's fun to watch. I spent 3 hours in that movie theater fucking hating Alex for making me go to watch it.
I want to make you go watch the next one next year.
I'm not going.
You're going.
There's no way they're making another one next year.
Yeah, it's supposed to come out next December. And then the other one.
It took them how many years to go from 1 to 2, and now they're making a fucking third?
Yeah, they're supposed to have 5. You didn't know that?
There ain't a chance in hell.
Basically, it was up to see how good this one did, and considering it blew every record out of the water, they're making all 5. They already have the second one basically all the way filmed.
I'm out. I'm tapping out at 2.
You're like, I'm done.
I fucking hated that movie, dude.
Give up.
Fucking hated that movie. Like, all right, so they land on the planet, right?
Yeah, okay. Yes.
Colonel guy's alive. If you haven't watched the movie yet, I don't give a fuck about the spoilers.
It's been a fucking year. Like,
and I'm doing you a favor. Like,
okay, land on
planet. Yeah, Colonel dude's an alien now, so they saved his DNA. That's cool, like the character, whatever, cool concept.
Yes.
I'm fine with it.
Okay.
General bitch.
Honestly, I feel like that was more of a disappointment to me than I think it was for you, because I was like, they're just bringing back the same antagonist. Obviously, you could tell by the end of the movie there's going to be a lot more character development with him throughout the story, especially the next one. But I still just kind of like, I was kind of put off. I was like, you guys just brought back the same bad guy. That just seems kind of weird, except now he's stronger.
Well, see, by the time, I didn't think he was going to be the main bad guy.
I didn't think so either. That's why when they did, I was like, No,
I meant like in the beginning section of the movie. I still didn't think he was going to be the main bad guy.
Yeah.
But then by the time I realized it was, again, like, the character was interesting enough, and I was okay with it.
Yeah, that's fair.
And that's because when he gets to the base, there's that lady in charge who's, like, definitely a bitch.
Yep.
I thought she was going to be the bad guy.
Which I think she is long-term for, like, the next couple movies.
Might be, might not. But that's my first thing here, where I was just sitting in the back in the movie theater, and I was like, the fuck? So, like...
You're like, who are you?
Earth is dying. You need to go fucking kill this guy because he's leading the fucking avatars
like resistance,
now. Yeah, you need this... We need this part of the region to collapse so that we can extend our... we can take over this area.
Yeah.
Great. We got a conflict. We got a reason for what's about to happen.
Okay. Yep.
You're setting up the story nicely.
Uh-huh.
So far, I'm on board with this movie.
Okay. Where does it go downhill?
It goes downhill when the main guy and his family leave.
Okay.
And everything that happened before no longer matters. We're chasing this guy.
Well, I think in the end though that was part of the goal was like, yes, stop the resistance, but if he's the main one involved in the resistance, let's take him out. So, like,
He's gone. This was your mission. He's gone. You don't follow, you fucking do the mission. For all they know, he's dead.
True, but the thing is like at one point that'd be like having someone that double crossed you get away and have inside knowledge to humanity. It's like not saying I get what you're saying, but it's like the thing is in that situation it's like, okay, for the plot of the story they changed their focus to still chase him, but the thing is they probably were still doing shit elsewhere.
The movie's set up on the fact, like, the first thing
that he's causing issues.
No, Earth is dying.
Yes,
we need to fucking
yeah
make the planet safer is how they put it. There's no way around it. It's genocide. They want to kill the whole planet.
Yes, exactly.
The people are the bad people.
It's the Native Americans. It's all over again.
Yeah, no, like honestly it is. It's kind of whatever you think about that is whatever you think about that. But so that's what needs to happen.
Mm-hmm.
That's the conflict of the story. That is how the story is set up, based around that conflict. And now we fucking threw that over there and we're chasing this.
I feel like
it
part of it
literally changes the story a third of the movie in.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like part of it is because it's like to them he's a threat. Plus, he wants revenge. So you add those together, it's like okay, they're gonna go for him, and let alone in that situation they do fuck up other villages because they don't care and they rather eradicate more.
Well, but
Navi
doing that, like when they fuck up the other villages at the end, that's at the end.
Yeah, that is closer,
that's like closer to the end.
A good portion of the movie
what I'm
is
saying is
developing the characters for the kids because they're new characters and they're going to be some of the main characters for the rest of the movies.
So you go a third of the movie.
Yeah.
Which is a 3-hour movie. So you go an hour about life in the forest. There's a couple of fights in the forest. The what's his nuts bad guys is learning how to fly the whatever the hell those are called things too.
Yeah, that's true.
Like so there's all this stuff going on in the forest. You have this movie set up for an hour. And for this hour, I'm on board with the movie. It's when you literally take that hour and throw it in the trash can that the movie lost me. Because he leaves, they leave, everything changes. Like the movie starts over in a different area.
Yeah.
Everything else that happened, gone, doesn't matter. Now the story is just him chasing the other guy. I can't get into it. Now I'm just pointing out the stuff in the movie I don't like. You took away the structure. Like, you took away and threw it away.
Yeah. Point.
Now you've got these guys that are wailing. You're supposed to be a military guy. Military personnel, whatever the hell.
Mm-hmm.
You just abandon your mission, for starters. And then you go back to the main base, where you just decide to commandeer a civilian ship, so that it's made clear too that there's civilians.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, we're not Navy, and it's like, oh, you are now. So that's how that fucking works. But it's like, you have all this other stuff going on, and now you're exploring the water. I felt like they got robots that build the entire city, and you're sitting here telling me, like, why wouldn't they just make their own boat? Oh, I know why. You want to set up this stupid fucking subplot about the whales having telekinetic ability. Again, whatever, it's Avatar. But there was no reason for it other than that little whaling part. Because in any other situation, it's like you would just get military boats. And this guy just lands on the deck of the boat, and the captain's like, we're whalers, we're civilians, we're not military. And he's like, you are now. And it's literally the Rick and Morty meme. You son of a bitch, I'm in. And now all of a sudden there's a bunch of trained Marines getting in gunfights, and there's hundreds of them. And they're just casually going around burning villages. The whole time, and it's like, they keep trying to insist the whole time, oh, we're just civilians. What? Like, I can't get into that final 2 hours of random shit that they just keep throwing shit at the wall.
Yeah,
and none of it sticks to me because you had a really solid base in the first hour and you just threw it away.
But I feel like that solid base though would have been too repetitive of the first movie, and that would have been part of the issue. And I think that's why of the slight change up. But I feel like part of his thing for the change up was also, he's like, as a guy that helped develop this whole world, like he wrote it himself, he wanted to show be able to show more, basically in the end get into more lore of like the planet, the different people, the areas, and be able to see more of it instead of being stuck in one place. It's like when you finally unlock a new fucking section of the open world map that you haven't been able to see for this whole time, and it's like, oh cool, this mission just fucking unlocked this whole new section, let's go figure out how to run it. And this like that's how I look at it.
Well,
But,
I agree with that.
yeah.
I like that idea. However, the story needs to still flow with it too. Again, you can't just throw everything away and be like, all right, this is it now, and everyone's okay with it.
True.
Like
I know what you mean.
Like
The only thing is
the first third of the movie seems set up so well, and then it's such an abrupt turn into this, and there's no setup, and I like the conflict doesn't make sense to me anymore, and the plot doesn't make sense to me anymore, and so at this point in the story, it's like, I got invested in this story at the beginning, you threw it away. Now you're asking me to get invested in the second story. The second story doesn't make any sense to me, because why are they just following him instead of doing what they came here to do? Why are they taking civilian ships that suspiciously have hundreds of trained Marines? Like they just
I get that.
To me, like, the movie is literally asking you to forgive a lot and just play along.
A little bit,
but I'm not.
A little,
I'm not the type of person to play along with the movie.
So my thing is
the movie has to earn my interest.
I don't remember the initial mission of, was it stop the resistance, but the target is take out Jake because he is like the leader, and then that's why they follow him. Because if that's it, then it does kind of make sense to why they try to figure out where the fuck he went, because they're like, oh shit, he just disappeared. Oh, turns out, shit, he might be out here. Let's go fucking get him.
My understanding is that the mission is to take out the resistance, but the main antagonist and his team of avatars, like
once revenge.
the human race.
The
The human race and the military are here to exterminate resistance.
Yep.
He's the spec ops team that's been assigned with the specific mission of terminating the resistance leader.
Yeah. So I feel like that's the only reason why they swap, is that / the revenge story that he wants to try fulfilling. And then as for the whaling shit, it is kind of random, but I feel like part of it is them trying to develop almost, and still showing, like, growing sympathy for the Na'vi again, like they did in the first movie. Because at the beginning, it's like, yes, they were still being fucked over by the humans, but it wasn't as apparent. Where like the first movie, it's like, oh, it starts off, you build the relationship, and then they do some fucked up shit to basically destroy their culture, their heritage, and then you're like, oh, fuck the humans, they're basically trying to wipe out these people. And they kind of do a very similar structure where it's like, okay, new place, build the relationship with the characters, the new animals, whatever, this whole new world, and then, oh, fuck, they're killing these animals that are like sacred, almost like siblings, family to them, to then wrap in that sympathy to get like the Na'vi like aspect back into it. It is similar, like you said. I don't think the storyline in the end is the best, because it is overall a similar enough plot to the original, just with different changes, different characters, but it's all to still build that divide between human and Na'vi. Because I do know, because I'm, like I said, I've watched videos on it, that I think it's in the third or fourth movie that it's written that some way, somehow, I can't remember her fucking name, but his wife is somehow supposed to go to Earth, and then she's gonna end up understanding and building almost like a recollection relationship to see the struggle of humanity. And it's supposed to, like, that's the long-term goal, is kind of to, I think, bring them together as two groups. And so I think that's one reason why they're doing that. It's like, let's keep building the tension, and then eventually get the humanity like perspective of suffering to the Na'vi, so they can relate. And then I don't know what it's going to be at the end of like trying to bring them together, but I feel like that's probably the long-term goal of like the full storyline. Because that's the thing, is he has it written out already. 5 movies basically written. They're just not filmed. So it's like, he knows what he's trying to do. These are the steps to get there, and we're just seeing him put them together. So it's like they're separate movies, but one story. I think that also makes it difficult.
I could enjoy the movies. I could get into them if they changed 2 things going forwards.
Yeah.
For starters, I don't care about your CGI landscape. You need to cut all of those segments out of the fucking movie. Because there's entirely too much of just nothing but CGI landscape.
Yeah, but they did that in the first one.
But it was revolutionary then. So
Yeah.
I'll give them the pass. I can accept it in the first one because it was revolutionary then.
It was a whole new. Yeah, it was
You
just like
couldn't-
new, it was
and you
different. It was so
couldn't
different
see-
from the
You
like
couldn't
anything at
see
the time.
anything like that
Yeah,
at that time.
I get what you're
Nothing
saying.
else came close to those visuals. Like I said, now it's not that fucking special anymore.
yeah.
I don't.
But I feel like I don't know they would
particularly-
make that big of a change because at one point it's like it's kind of like on brand, you know, like in a way it's like it feels similar. That's why they don't necessarily probably want to change it to like, oh, now it's more of a normal action film. It doesn't have like all this B-roll stuff that they develop and all this extra shit.
Well, it's
like,
as simple as
yeah.
saying it's just not my cup of tea.
That
It
it might not
ain't,
be.
It ain't for me. It's just like I can't sit in the back of the movie theater for 3 hours and think, man, I could have gone home a lot sooner if it wasn't for the fact that you kept showing me this fucking landscape. Like,
Well, yeah, you got a point.
man, I'm busy on the weekends. I ain't going to the movie on the weekends. I'm going to the movie during the week. I gotta go home and go to work the next day. I ain't trying
went
to.
on the weekends.
Fuck, dude.
Bro, I saw
drill.
it twice in theaters.
I got drill and shit on the weekend. Like I can't go watch movies on the weekend. I got too much shit going. So
You
me
want to
and
go watch
Alex-
it now? It's on fucking Prime, I think.
No. Me and Alex go after. I'm going to fucking movies tomorrow after work, and this
Oh, yeah?
movie's 2.5 hours. And
What
I'm like,
movie?
God damn it, dude.
What movie?
The Hunger Games movie.
Okay, yeah.
Take a guess who wants to go see it.
Well, what you just said, but
Yeah. No, I'm again making the point that I don't really go and watch movies on my own accord, anyways.
I don't go to the movie theater often. Like, I mean, the last night we went to the movie theater together.
We did go
went
to the movie to
we
watch
watched
The Machine.
We watched The Machine.
And I was okay with that. That was a good time.
Yeah, like I mean, it was in that instance. Honestly, like for me, I was slightly disappointed in that film. Different reasoning, but like I don't think it was bad. That wasn't necessarily what I expected. I thought it was going to be a lot more comedy and like outrageous comedy. It ended up being less comedy, more action, and like storytelling. And that was just not something I was expecting out of a movie starring Bert Kreischer. So like my anticipation for what the movie was possibly going to be was definitely different than what I got out of it.
You thought
Doesn't
it
mean
was
I
gonna-
disliked it.
You thought
but
it was going to take itself less serious?
yes, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be almost like maybe not to the same extent, but kind of like another like big comedy that we haven't had in a while, like going back to like something like Step Brothers and something a little more ridiculous, which I think they still are making because I know that there is supposed to be a movie with Tom and Bert together called Fat Astronauts.
Yeah.
With the same writers from Step
Yeah,
Brothers.
I think that one's going to be...
that one
one's
will
gonna be that one.
100% be
Yeah.
that kind of movie.
No.
But I
did
was
like
so,
The Machine, though. I liked the story. I like the story in The Machine.
Yeah, it's not
Like,
bad.
it was actually
No, it's
laid
fine.
out really well.
It was.
Like, the solid story was like to the main plot is not silly. You have a very solid, interesting story going on with action, and you just got Bert Kreischer's random shit throwing in the silliness here and there. I
Yeah.
thought it worked really well.
It did. No, it definitely did. It was just not necessarily what I anticipated because like you can't quite get that vibe, and I think that's kind of what he was hoping for. Was like people are expecting this, they're getting to see a little bit of a different side of him and everything, and that was part of his plan. Where it's like for me as a fan of his comedy, it's not like I didn't like it or anything. It was definitely different, not what I expected. But like movies are fun. I just don't watch. I don't go to the
also
movies
like
very
that
often.
movie because we went to that bougie ass movie theater with reclining seats.
Yeah.
It was an experience.
That's the best one to go to, dude. I want to go to the ones where it's like a fucking couch. And they fucking bring food out as you watch the movie.
Oh, I can't afford that shit.
I don't think it's as expensive as you think. I think it's like the cost of like going to a restaurant kind of thing. Like maybe for two people, like $70 or something.
Yeah,
like
I can't afford that shit.
Decent enough restaurant, but not overly expensive.
Who the fuck do you think I am?
Oh, shut up. You got a brand new truck.
Yeah, I can't afford to go to a restaurant. You're
Yeah,
goddamn right.
The truck fucked me.
I'm card poor, baby.
Yeah, that got you pretty well. It did.
Yeah,
it
they did. They fucked me hard on that one.
Yeah. Are you enjoying it? Are you a truck guy now? You gonna put a lift kit on it? Bigger tires?
Bitch, I'm sitting here saying I can't go to dinner. Are you buying me tires? I'll put them on if you do.
No. I can't do that.
I have done 2 truck things in the past 24 hours, so I guess I am.
What's the 2 truck things that you've done?
Oh, you know.
What the fuck was that?
No, I picked up a snowblower after work yesterday, and I brought Wyatt some tires today.
Damn.
Yeah,
put it in the bed of the truck.
Getting some scratches.
Fucking Volkswagen can't do that shit.
Nope. It has before. It's just way more inconvenient, and my suspension's dragging the whole time.
The car's grinding as you're just dragging it across the road.
Yeah, basically. Beach it on a speed bump type of thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. It definitely is fucking nice as hell, though, just to be able to, like, oh, I gotta take somebody this big, bulky item.
Yeah, that's true.
And call it good.
So, the funny thing is like, I always thought you'd be okay on this podcast just because of how well we do when it comes to communication. But I also forgot, because you mentioned this when we were on our 3-hour phone call that night, which we weren't planning on, but you've been on podcasts before. Is it only been that one podcast multiple times, or have you been on different ones?
So I went on that podcast 2 times as a regular guest.
Okay.
And then once for their 100th episode special.
Okay.
I want to say that's the only podcast I've been on, though.
Gotcha.
Up until now.
Yeah, so it's, what is it, 2 bearded guys?
Yeah, 2 beard guys.
Yeah.
That's the distinction. Their distinction is not bearded. It's beard.
Yeah.
ED.
Yeah, that's true.
But they are 2 guys with beards.
I have to admit, I thought that they were going to have... So I looked. I thought they would have a larger channel. But then I also saw that all of their podcasts are live streams.
Yes.
So that does kind of make it a little more difficult with growth in certain aspects. But it's like, that's kind of cool.
I don't know
Live
if they
stream
lean
every
into
time.
the YouTube side of
Yeah,
things.
I don't know if they do either.
But they do a lot of in-person events.
Yeah?
Yeah, so if you're... I mean, I don't know where your demographic is, but if there's any people that live in the fucking central Indiana area that enjoy beer tastings and stuff of that nature, you should give them a look.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I was just looking around. I was like, man, their video, like, why are their videos so random and sporadic when they were posting? And then I click live streams. It's like, oh, here's the episodes.
No, they actually, they had a booth at Hops and Drops this year.
Yeah, so basically, it's a guy that we've both worked with in the past. He makes his own beer on the side. They love, like, craft beer, do their own thing, but they made this podcast where they basically just talk shit and try a bunch of different beers, right?
Yeah, so the format of it goes is that they have, I don't know how many numbers of beers they're doing now. It's been a minute since I've actually watched it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what sucks, is I told John this too, and that's the guy who we used to work with. He would live stream Monday evening.
Yeah.
My ass is in bed. But back when I was working with you and I was working with him, I would listen to it Tuesday at work. I'd listen to it the next day at work. And my current job doesn't let me have earbuds in.
Damn.
So I basically haven't watched ever since then. Because that's what I would do, is I would play it, I'd put it in my pocket, and I have had my headphones in, but I'm not allowed to have headphones in anymore at work.
That sucks.
So I don't know how it's changed. I would imagine not by much. If anything, the only thing that changed would have been like the time they go for and how many beers, and it's XYZ.
Yeah.
But they get X number of random beers from all across the country and all these crazy flavors. If you know anything about beer, then you know more about it than I do. But just to say how far out there it goes. Like, it could be anything from like regular porter or lager or dark beer, whatever, to one of the flavors they had was spicy pickle.
Oh, okay, cool. So they literally
beer.
They really find like random shit. And I've
Oh,
had
dude,
some
of this shit they have sent to them. So it's like they get out there, like
they
like
reach out.
So they might not have like
A large
the
audience.
follower count,
Yeah.
but I'm telling you, like the events they host, like they're making a name for themselves.
That's cool.
They're going out to events. They're setting up booths. They're hosting events. They've got their own merch and shit now. Like, they're doing, from everything I can tell, they're doing really well.
So do they mainly? What do they post on? Is it mainly YouTube? Do they do other stuff? Like, do they post it on else?
The
like
live
elsewhere?
streams I watched are actually on Facebook.
Oh, so they do Facebook too. So they might have a larger audience there.
I think that's where
Okay.
most of it is.
Gotcha. Okay, that makes
I
sense.
think
'cause
most
was
of their
looking them up
audience is on
YouTube.
Facebook.
That makes,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Look
Okay.
them up on Facebook. You might get your answers. But
Damn. Okay.
so show up. It's John and Tyler are the hosts and the guest, and They just
happen to ask you one day, be like, hey, you be interested in drinking some beer with us?
yeah, literally.
Yeah.
And it was, you know what sparked it?
I don't,
My 21st birthday.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was what
makes
sparked
sense.
him being like, hey, do you want to come on the show then? I was like, fuck yeah. But yeah, so they'll just crack open a beer, they talk about it, they taste it, they give a score on it, talk about that, and then you know how usual podcasts you get sidebar conversations.
Yeah.
Talk about what their guest does and all this other shit. But the gist of it is trying the beers and giving them a taste, giving them a score. And again, they are fucking beer connoisseurs, so like they actually know tasting and flavor profile and shit like that.
You're over here just like tastes like a weird beer.
Well, I think that's what was super fun the first time I went on. So I told them the first time I went on, I'm like, you guys like
drink beer all the time. You're like, I never drink beer.
You guys are doing beer flights, tasting. Yeah. John used to work at a brewery before he got the job where we met him at. I don't know if they know what he does, so that's why I'm not dropping names of what we do. But
I haven't, so
y'all don't need to know. But so before he did that, he worked at a brewery. I think his partner Tyler, he has connections to a brewery, so like they know their shit.
Yeah.
And then the point of bringing me on was that I just turned 21.
Yeah, so you had no experience.
So I'm like, dude, I don't know anything. Like,
you're just like, we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Well, it's like, I don't know what good or bad tastes like.
That's true.
Like, so they're like, oh, and the flavor profiles and this and this and this. I'm like, sure. Tastes like beer. Like,
it's like, yes.
This one doesn't taste like beer. It's really fruity and has a bunch of other flavors.
Yeah.
I drink it again. like
you just like, I like it.
It was funny to like from the first time I went on there to the second time I went on there. The second time they made a comment, they're like, you're a lot more confident in your scores. I'm like, yeah, I've drank since then.
Yeah.
I hadn't drank before the first one. So in the first one, I was like feeling like the way they do it to try and stop it from being biased.
Okay.
Is that so there's 3 people.
Yep.
Average score, or not the average, or like, yeah, average score is the score.
Yeah.
So you give it a review, middle guy gives it a review, he gives it a review. And then they rotate who goes first every time. So it kind of stops it from being biased.
You don't all drink it at the same time.
No, you all drink it at the same time, but just giving your score.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Fair. So
you're
not just following.
It comes time. Yeah, so you're not just following. So it comes time for me to be the first one to give my score.
Oh.
Fuck, fine, dude. I don't know. Yeah, it tastes good. I'd drink it again. But I don't know what the fuck you guys are talking about. Like, they're going on about stuff that I've never heard of. I'm like, dude, it's a liquid and I drink it. That's all I know here.
Yeah.
So, I don't think I ever told them this, but I was laughing to myself, and especially the second time I came on when they made the comments, like, oh, you're a lot more confident now. It's like, yeah, dude, since the first time, I didn't have my own score.
Yeah.
I just went with whatever you guys thought. But then it's like, well, how could I if I was answering first? Bitch, I was going off of body language and what you guys had to say about it before we gave a score, and I just formulated an opinion off of that. It says I didn't fucking know where it should land.
Oh, I kind of like it. I'll go with the 6.
I'm like, all right, he nearly spit it out. He says he's disappointed in how it came out. This one's bottom of the barrel.
Yeah.
Say something vaguely similar, like, yeah, it's not really coming through, and would have preferred more.
Yeah, you're over here and you're like, this is my favorite one.
Yeah, like
this is delicious.
Like,
Where'd you get this again?
It's cheap and strong. I'll drink this all night. But
like, I love it. 10.
Yeah. No. So, but it was a lot of fun. Nonetheless, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, I'm curious. I kind of want to listen to one of their episodes. I haven't yet, so
I think it's good.
Yeah.
They've got, like I said, they've grown a lot. It's been kind of crazy to see. Like, they had their own booth at Hops and Drops, and they're hosting their own events.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
They brewed their own beer.
Yeah, yeah. Which I knew John did on his own, just working with them. And he's like, oh yeah, he's like, I'm going here this weekend. I'm like, to do what? He's like, brew beer. I was like, what? Oh, cool. Yeah. All right.
And to the ATF agents among you, it's brewed at an actual factory.
Yeah,
And it was
yeah.
just a collaboration with their flavor.
Yes.
They're not selling hooch out of
No,
their
they're
basement.
No, he takes it. He's real deal. He's like, I'm trying this out. We're changing this up.
Yeah.
Like,
No,
all this
it
shit.
was literally a collaboration with a brewery here in central Indiana that was like, yeah, come and make your own flavor. And they're all about promoting it and selling it. So,
yeah.
that shows the influence that they have right now.
I'm not a beer guy, but I do find that aspect cool because I feel like it's easier to kind of manufacture and make beers like your own way than you can other liquors, because I feel like the process is a lot harder when it comes to like distilling like hard liquors than it is to like make a beer and change it up. Because like I haven't had much. I'm not a beer guy, but like
I couldn't tell.
Well, you know that. Yeah,
Yeah.
You know that.
Yeah.
But like I've had some craft beers, like there's a few in in Indiana, like 450 North, which is based out of Columbus. Like a buddy of mine drinks those. So different than any other beer I've ever had. Very thick, like hoppy, but like the flavors they come out with, ridiculous. Like it looks like a fucking smoothie when you pour it out. Like, and then like
there's some crazy ones, dude.
Oh yeah,
there were some ones that I was drinking.
Nothing I ever would expect, because the only thing I was around my entire life was fucking Miller Lite, and I was like, yeah, that's beer.
Dude, I was just drinking this shit. I'm like, that's not beer. Like, this is a fruit smoothie. Like, what do you mean this is beer?
Exactly.
There's no way this was made in the same process.
Or like, so on my mom's birthday, we went to the new brewery here over in town, and I got a flight, $10. Just fucking went there. They gave me a bunch of samples, and I was like, I want this one, that one. Not a beer guy, so it's like I don't drink much, but I was like, this one I can handle. Like one was like coffee flavored, like surprisingly fucking strong as shit when it came to like the boldness of the coffee. But like these different ones, I'm like, I can get along with these. Like this is cool, and I like that. Especially even like small companies, they can be like, oh, this month we just decided to change it up and make this batch of this flavor one time. Yeah. And we're just like playing with it. I find that being like, that's cool that you can just be like, you know, this month, like a local brewery can just be like, we're going to do this. We're going to try these flavors. We've never done this before. Let's just see what happens. We'll sell it for a month and hope it goes great.
Like, yeah, they do a lot of this shit.
Yeah.
So like
that's
cool. It was through this show, because I never really drank, even like once the show started and all this other stuff. But it wasn't until like the second show, and I was like, this isn't beer. Like, I don't get this. Like, in my head, this isn't beer. Like, what the hell is this?
It's not stereotypical.
So, like, that's kind of what started me, like, I don't want to say, like, as a drinker, because I'm not a drinker.
Yeah.
Like, I don't drink regular in the slightest. Very few and far between. But there's definitely times where I've been at the store, and I'm like, I would like to try that.
Yes. Yeah, it made you more... what's the word? Like,
I don't know if open's the right word.
I mean, I guess open-minded to try.
Maybe curious.
Beers. Yes.
Like I saw a 4-pack of something. I was like, that could be cool.
Yeah, let me try it. I've done that too in a liquor store, because I've not had necessarily like my go-to. Like there's some people I know where they're like, I only drink this. I'm like, why? I'll try this one can of whatever the fuck it is, see how it is. Like, why not? Like, I've done that before, and I kind of like being able to do that, because it's like I can kind of bounce around a bit and see what's good, what's not. Fuck, I might not ever buy it again, even if I kind of liked it, just because I don't know. Like I like having that flexibility where it's like some people are like, it's almost like car brands or other things for some people where it's like whatever beer or liquor you get into, that's your shit. And if you change, nah, you just swap teams. It's like a sports team. It's like, who the fuck? What are you drinking? Bush, you bitch. Like,
so I just remember this too at the beginning of their podcast. One of the things they do is that they set out the cans and the bottles.
Yeah,
and it's God damn, dude.
I don't see. I'm not up to Rogan standards. I don't have a cough button, so it just like mutes your mic as you cough. I'm sorry. Not there yet.
No, not yet. But oh
shit! I need it. I need it.
Yeah, dude, I'm dying over here. No, so like,
you out of water?
Yeah, I fucking drank it all.
Oh,
but now I'm gonna go get some more in here in a second. But
yeah, you're good.
So we they'll set out the cans, and it's like they all take a vote statement, whatever. Which one they're most excited for?
Mm-hmm.
I remember the first time I was on there. I'm getting a phone call.
I'm getting a phone call.
It's from Alex.
Oh no.
Hey, what's up?
Hi.
Brett did just say hi.
I did do that. Yeah.
She said hi.
Oh, cool. Well, that's good.
Like tomorrow after work. I mean, as long as it's after work, yeah, I can go get them.
We'll be right back with this quick message.
No shit. All right, yeah, I'll go get them. I'm gonna go back to recording now. Thanks for this. Thanks for this clip for Brett. Love you too. Bye.
What was that? Just leaving work early tomorrow? Picking up some
The
shit?
fuck I am.
I don't know.
Hey, if I buy these jeans from Tractor Supply online, they're not available in Tipton. Could you pick them up from Noblesville?
Okay, all right. Cool. Interesting request. All right. Just have them delivered. No?
Dude, fuck Fino, man. Also, I just name dropped 2 cities. I might need to blur that out
No,
later.
that's fine. Yeah.
But
Damn.
So anyways,
Yeah.
so they would make a statement on which one they were most excited for. And the first time, they let me go last about which one I was most excited to try.
Oh.
And so they all made their statements, and I was like, I'm excited for that one. And they're like, oh yeah, why's that? I'm like, I like the can.
That'd be me. Be like, it looks pretty cool.
I was like, I like the design on the can. Says you guys have just sat here for the past 20 minutes and talked about all this different shit, and I didn't understand a goddamn word of it.
Yeah, you're like, I don't even know what it says, but it looks nice.
Yeah, can looks cool. So I like that one.
That would
But
be me.
That was the first time on before I knew what any of it meant.
Yeah.
But, and then, I learned a ton on the podcast.
Oh, I bet.
And then just on my own time, like, oh, maybe I'd try that, like a 4-pack, or sometimes you find independent bottles from those special breweries and shit. So I was like, oh yeah, I'll try that like once every now and again.
Mm-hmm.
And so then when I went back and I was like, all right, I think I like these ones, so I'm excited about this one. But so that was a little bit better. But to also say like the influence that they've gotten, my second time on the podcast, which would have been before their 100th episode. So the 100th episode was my third time. Fuck if I know how long they've been doing it by then, but that's the only frame of reference I have. One of the drinks we had was from this brewery out in Colorado. Now this brewery, can't remember the name of it, of course not, but they loved it. And one of the guys, he flew out there like yearly, out to Colorado, had a yearly.
Wait, no, I think I've heard of that place. I think they told me about it. Is it something where it's like a very specific beer always sells out, can only get it from like a certain place?
Oh,
like I've heard of, and I thought it was in Colorado, that there's this like specific brand that it's like super hard to find because they sell out quickly. It's so unique.
Well, I don't know about that. I just know about the brewery itself.
Yeah.
So it's one of those breweries where like you can show up like a restaurant and obviously they've got everything there and they sell it all.
Yeah.
And it's in Colorado, so he goes for his Colorado vacation, but this brewery is in the town he goes to.
Yeah.
They got River North.
River North. Okay.
River North Brewing.
That's not, yeah, that sounds.
I think so.
That sounds right, actually.
So when he came back, they had given him a bottle of a brand new flavor to try.
Oh, cool.
That they knew he was gonna do. That he said he'll do on the podcast.
Yeah.
And the way they had it set up, I remember, because they brought out the bottle like it was a big deal. And of course, I'm sitting in the back, like, only been drinking for like a couple months now.
Yeah.
Drinking. And it's like another fucking bottle. And they were saying, they're like, yeah, they wanted us to do it on this specific episode because it's Monday. This beer is not released to the public until Friday. So outside of the brewery, we were the first 3 people to try. 4 people, if you include the guy who sits behind the camera, you don't ever see him. But we were the first 4 people outside of the brewery in the country to try this flavor.
That's pretty cool.
No, dude, and I'm sitting there like, damn, y'all wasted this on me.
That is
like,
cool.
I was like, you have so many other guests that could appreciate this so much more, but I'm gonna be grateful for the opportunity.
Yeah, no, that is kind of cool. And I feel like when you get into a niche like that, that makes that so much more like available, especially beer. Like that for some people that is a niche thing, but people fucking love it.
Oh yeah.
And it has such a big audience. That's why I was honestly kind of shocked that like their stuff on YouTube wasn't higher, because I was like, damn, I feel like beer shit like every once in a while would be big, but obviously if they don't prioritize it, then they might not necessarily.
I honestly wonder how much of that too is YouTube not wanting to be with the beers and user guidelines and stuff.
Yeah,
like that.
that's always possible. That is, but no, I just found that pretty interesting, and I was like, yeah, that's a cool concept. That's the thing when I started this, I was like, I really don't know a niche I want to get into, and that I was like, my niche I feel like is just, I don't think I have one. Like I feel like it's more, my niche is more just like the things I'm interested in when it comes to like people and information and like specific topics. Like I don't feel like I have like this isn't a murder mystery podcast. This isn't like whatever. Like that's just how I kind of like it. I like being able to be flexible. Like me and Riley are gonna make it more structured, which I kind of had it that way for a while and kind of fell out of it. Where it's like, okay, we're gonna have maybe one episode a month with a guest. We're gonna have 2 episodes a month where we have like more of a specific topic or subject to focus on, and like maybe look into information, read a book about, like watch a documentary. And then we might just have one that's kind of like tossed together where it's like, what the fuck's going on right now? What do you want to talk about? Like either personally or globally, or like what's going on in the news? Like, oh shit, elections coming up. Like, let's talk about politics. Like, I don't know, just like that kind of stuff. And the whole reason I actually wanted to do a podcast was, shit, I fucking grew up in the age of YouTube. So like that was something I always wanted to do, first of all. And then there just happened to be one day, and I don't think I've mentioned this story, but I don't think I actually walked through it because I was wanting the guy that was there to do it. But when he was here to record the podcast, we ended up not having time to record, which kind of sucked. Andrew.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So you know him. But no, like when we were working down there, I would have been 18, and I would have been graduated for maybe 6 months, and was working down there at this coffee shop, and we got an early snow in November. Our shop was basically dead as shit, so it was cold. No one was out. Like, it was the first weird thing. So us 3 for like 3 hours just were bullshitting, talking about like deep conversations, random shit, like talking about religion, because out of the 3 of us, I was the most religious, and at the time I held the view of abstinence, so they were like curious about that. Then we started talking about like all these other things when it comes to like politics and like big pharma, and like I don't even know how it happened, but there happened to be like 2 women that were sitting in the coffee shop lobby for a couple hours doing their own thing, and I guess because nothing else was really happening, at one point they were listening into our conversations. And all of us being freshly graduated between the ages of 18 and 19, like they came over before they left, and they were like, hey, by the way, we listened to your guys' conversation. We thought that was like awesome that you guys were having such deep introspective conversations on like such big topics, like when it comes to like traditional pharma versus like holistic shit. Like that was something we happened to be talking about that day, and just like why we would do stuff over the other, and how we felt about it. And they were just like, it's kind of crazy to hear that coming out of like someone your age, and talking about such a deep conversation and topic just at work. And they just found that like very interesting. And I literally told them that day, like afterwards, it's like, dude, that literally could have been a podcast. And that was also around the same time I started listening to podcasts, so it kind of like piqued my interest. And then it wasn't until pushing 2 years ago that like I kind of got the accessibility to even try recording one, by getting like my PC and getting a mic and like having actual like good internet to do it all. But like that's kind of what all like started the idea, was like YouTube conversations, that kind of stuff. Oh, that might be me.
Oh, okay. I thought it was happening again.
Yeah, you're like, more jeans?
Oh shit. See, here's my favorite thing of everything you just said.
Yeah.
Is the fact that you felt the need to say between the ages of 18 and 19. Like, there's a fucking spread there.
I don't know. Yeah, it's such a big.
That's
That's what you pick up on.
Yes.
Of that whole thing.
Of everything you just said, that's what stuck with me.
You're like, that's the only thing I heard.
Instead of just saying, yeah, between people who are 18 and 19, you said between the ages of 18 and 19. Like, there's a fucking spread.
The only reason I said that was because I knew me and the other guy graduated the same year. I couldn't remember the other dude, but it's like, I don't think he was fucking like 22 or some shit. I think he was maybe 19 or something. Like, I don't know. That's why I just said that. I don't. Fuck off.
Could have just said a couple of people like
yeah,
18, 19.
I guess.
Between 18 and 19. Bitch, there ain't nothing between 18 and 19.
Okay, you got a point.
I know I do. That's why I said it.
But no, I don't. I don't know. That's why I got into podcasts. That's why I like you guys, like in particular, like Josh on the live stream. And we didn't totally get into it because, I mean, I feel like it's a bigger explanation than what was warranted. And considering that evening, we weren't going into big explanations. But like he's like, I don't understand why you guys in general like hang out with us, like Brian or like Josh or stuff like that. And I was like, I don't know. Like I hang around all you guys because I like to be able to have like deep conversations with people and like get onto some crazy topics and debate and do that stuff. Like if I can't have that with somebody, I don't know, it's not the same relationship. I don't know, that's just like, that's one reason why I feel like I like podcasts so much, is being able to like, because that's how I honestly learned in my eyes like more about the world. Because I mean, growing up in central Indiana, not traveling really hardly at all, like and having a very, I feel like, traditional, more like mid-America like upbringing, it was kind of cool to listen to all these different people from all these different backgrounds talk about how they looked at things or their life stories and shit. And that's like, that I found that like so interesting. And that's why I was like, oh, that'd be cool to be able to do like on my own with people, because I love hearing about it. Like, why not do it in person and then allow someone else to listen to it?
You're talking about like the, let's say, like seeing the world more or less.
Yeah,
through
people.
Yeah, but like through the experience,
yes.
It means more. So you're like, let me contribute with rural Indiana.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit. Like, I mean,
no, I'm taking the piss out of it. No,
yeah.
Absolutely.
Because
they don't know about this farming life.
No,
they ain't detasseled.
It's true. It'd be
they
true
ain't
though.
Detasseled.
It's true.
They don't know.
They don't know. Like, most people don't understand like things in our area, or like. But then that's why I also love like all you guys, because we have so different backstories. It's like I didn't know. I don't hang out with anybody from high school, and it's like you have such a different backstory, being like coming from England and your family, and then growing up in Florida and moving here for some fucking reason, and then to be questions, and then like same with Freddie and his background and his backstory and ending up here, and then just Brian being an old crazy guy that's went to like 4 colleges, like his whole situation, like yeah, like him and all his experiences, and then Josh and his backstory, even though he's been local his whole life, just so different than like most people I had ever been around.
Josh also comes with the benefit of his dog.
That's true too.
Josh comes
Chief.
with Chief.
Chief is probably the biggest benefit.
Chief honestly. Is a homie.
That and the golf simulator.
The barn is a hole.
But so I don't know. I feel like that's why I like people that are able to kind of match that kind of concept and be able to have those conversations. If someone can, it's not the same.
It is funny because when you talk like that and you put it into perspective, it's just like literally how different all of our lives are.
They are.
Yet we hang out.
Yeah, they are.
Like, there's literally all 4 of us completely different walks of life.
Do our own thing, crazy different backgrounds, like different situations, upbringings, but we're all friends. That's all that matters.
But I mean, that's all it should be, is if you just enjoy someone's company.
And that was the thing, because I don't think, let's say my dad did it purposefully, but in certain aspects, like, because I was kind of raised, not like strict religious, but religious enough that I almost like isolated myself to the world in certain aspects. And it was like after I got out of high school, and even though I've been on the internet for years, podcasts were just like a different form, because it's like, oh, I'm able to sit here and listen to just someone talk, like Rogan being the one that kind of helped with that, whereas like someone just have a conversation for 3 hours and really get deep into someone's story and like their perspectives on shit. where it's like a regular YouTube video. You don't get that because it's just entertainment. And so, like, honestly, getting into podcasts and getting into that shit, I was like, oh shit, I'm getting to learn about so much different shit that like I never grew up with. I'm hearing about people that came from all these different backgrounds that I was never around. And maybe that's one reason why I'm kind of attracted to all of you guys, because it's like we are so different in that fact. And like it's cool because it's like I'm not hanging out with the fucking same people and shit that I grew up with. And it makes it almost more interesting because of the different perspectives between us all.
No, I mean, you're probably right in that. It's not really something I've ever really cared to think about, but like, yeah, definitely whenever we all get together, we just talk about different shit.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what day it is or what we're doing. We'll always find something different to talk about. There's always something different going on.
Mm-hmm. We always end up down some rabbit hole in some form or another between something. Like, I mean, even that's why I honestly enjoyed our conversation when you were driving to Ohio. It is like, you know what? Like, this is the first time I kind of get to talk to someone that I'm close with, that even though he didn't grow up in Europe, but from your parents, I get a European perspective of also someone that was raised in the U.S. So we were able to talk about like all these different differences and how people look at Americans and how Americans look at the world and like all this shit where it's like I couldn't necessarily talk to somebody about that unless I maybe traveled somewhere, but also I would have to find someone that would be willing to sit down and have a conversation with me, you know? So it's like that's cool to be able to do that with like people I'm around.
Different perspectives.
Oh yeah, that's what I love it.
Broaden your horizons, people.
Right? Yeah, don't fucking hang around the same fucks. Like, change it up. If you're all the same background, same people, it just doesn't make it fun.
There's something to that.
There really is. Like, diversity in friend groups, I think, with like shit like that, personality, everything, I think honestly is more important than some people realize. But I mean, and I think that has something to do with like you become the people you're around. If you just hang around with, just a group of potheads that don't do anything but work and smoke, it's like that's a whole different story. Than
I was gonna say that too. Though that's the thing. We're all still so busy in our own independent lives.
Yeah.
That like, Freddie's got his life, his career, his wife.
Yeah.
Josh has his life and his wife at the house. You're starting a real estate adventure. I'm doing military shit. Like, we're constantly doing different stuff and then just periodically coming together. So we always have something else to come and talk about that's different.
Yeah, it's nice. It's like, fuck, I didn't see you guys for a week. Like, it was more than a week. Well, yeah, about a week. Just being out of town and shit. So it's like, yeah, doing our own thing, but all still enjoying it. You left the state for a few days for the holidays and shit. So it's like, yeah. I got
to see Diesel.
You did get to see Diesel while I was gone, and he didn't die, so that was good.
I did notice a lack of Diesel when I walked in. I was like, fuck.
You're like, where'd he go? Bro, you should have seen him. He jumped over the couch when I walked in the door Sunday.
I fucking bet.
Bro, he's like, what the fuck are you doing here?
You should have seen how sad he was, dude.
Yeah, the first day is always rough on him.
Oh my god, I felt so bad.
Yeah, you're just like, what do I do?
Like, I don't... Dude, I was like, oh, I'll spend some time with him, I know. And so I let him outside, and immediately he's looking around for your mom. I knew exactly what he's doing. He's looking around for your mom. Yeah. And I was like, Diesel, I took you outside to go to the bathroom. I don't want to do this. It's fucking cold. Yeah. Can we please go back inside if you're not going to shit?
Like, Diesel, come on, dude.
And he's just sniffing around and everything. And I was like, God damn it. I know what he's doing. And I finally coaxed him back inside. I'm like, all right, he's got sad puppy dog eyes. You can tell the dog's body language. He's upset. Oh my god, I'll spend some time with him. So trying to play with him, try and give him a fuss. He just walks right over to that little fucking bed, lays down, and just looks at me all sad like. And I was like, "You fucker."
Yeah, I mean he's done that even when like my mom and them have left, and it's me and him, and it's like he's still around me the whole time, but it's still you still see that little switch. And that was the funny thing was like. Even though he's probably been fine and he's probably had a fun time with like Riley and shit, just me walking in the door, he's like, what the fuck? Like, he literally just like climbed up on the couch and was like, what the fuck are you doing here?
He's like, you're back. That probably means your mom's back too. Like,
well, the thing is, my mom was here and she didn't come get him immediately. I was surprised. I was the first one he saw. And they got here before I did. I was like, what the hell?
You know what's funny too is that like, so for the context of this story, his mother lives just down the road.
Yeah.
And the dog kind of comes and goes between the two as he pleases.
Yeah.
Yeah. He has the footprint of his land.
Yeah.
And you had told me that Diesel was at your mom's house.
Oh, my bad.
So I am in this house.
You're like, where the fuck's the dog? I didn't even think.
Looking around for a big ass German Shepherd. Like, what the fuck
You're like,
happened?
the dog's not here. I'm surprised I didn't get a phone call.
And I'm like opening doors and shit, and I'm like, they wouldn't have like locked him in the bedroom, like they would have locked him out of the bedroom. So I'm fucking going through the bedrooms and everything. I'm like, there's no dog in this house. and so I was like,
to text you because I forgot that they were just gonna have him come over here, and they did, and she brought him over that day. I thought I did text you actually.
No, so I sat there and I was like, well,
should I check the other house?
Like, I guess I'll go see if Brett's keys outside too for me. And I walked over and I was like, all right, cool. There's a key. So he was expecting me to come over here too. Maybe. I don't know. Open the door and then there's Diesel. I'm like, all right, cool. That makes sense.
You're like, the dog's alive. Cool.
Yeah, I was like,
I'm not crazy.
The dog does exist.
Yeah, you're like, he didn't break a window and get out, did he?
I was
like,
like, he's also not chasing after the car down the highway on their way to Gatlinburg.
Yeah, yeah.
He's not chasing the car down.
No.
I was just walk in. You're expecting a big happy dog. Just someone's like, there's nothing here.
I have to admit, my mom was both annoying me and cracking me up the whole week because she would just like every once in a while, like random time during the day, could be the evening. She just look at me and she's like, "How's my dog?" And I'm like, "How the fuck am I supposed to know? Like, do you think I've been talking to Riley the whole time, being like, did you feed him? Did you walk him? Did you scratch his belly? Is he breathing all right? Like, how's he doing? Like, I don't know. Like, he's alive. I would get a call if there was a problem. I don't like, what do you want from me? Like, at one point I literally had to text Riley. I was like, my mom requested a picture of the dog, please.
You called me the first night and you're like, hey, my mom wants to know how the dog's doing. He's like, have you been over there? I was like, I sent you several Snapchats. What do you mean?
Yeah,
and then the first Snapchat you got was of Diesel just pissing in the bushes.
Yeah, I didn't notice that because I think I had my notifications off or something from when we were driving, so I had no clue.
You're like, hey, have you been there? I'm like, all right, A, I sent you Snapchats. B, I'm there right now.
I was like, oh, cool.
You're like, cool. Mom wanted to know.
Yeah, I literally had to be like, Mom, dog's right there.
I'm like, yeah, he's okay.
Bro,
he's not happy about it, but he's
so
okay.
Funny. It was so funny.
I figured, like, as soon as that happened, I knew. And I was like, dude, they're going to be calling Riley every fucking night. Just like...
No, luckily she didn't. But I did have to, like, text him and be like, how's things? Like, and then there was a day where she was just like, that's not a picture of my dog. Because he just sent me a picture of him watching Game of Thrones. Because he decided to start that. And everything, which I told him I was going to get him into, which he's hooked already. And then my mom's like, I don't want a picture of the TV. I want a picture of my dog. And I was like, well, he wasn't he wasn't sending it to you. Like,
I love your mom.
So I literally requested, I was like, Riley, I know this is weird, but could you please send me a picture of Diesel? And I think he literally texted me back 20 minutes later because she's like, did you hear anything? I was like, no. And he texted me back. He's like, dude, I'm gone. I left because I had to take the car back. I'll be back eventually. And I was like, oh shit. I was like, well, you better take a picture when you get back. And I just told Mom, I was like, he's not there. I was like, she's gonna kill me.
It's like, oh my god, he's not there. Dog sitting my dog in his house with his own life to do.
I was like, Diesel stays home all day every day when we're not here, but it's like, Jesus Christ, he's gone for 20 minutes. I literally looked at my grandmother. I was like, did she act like this when I was a fucking infant and she left me somewhere? Because I doubt it.
She's like, no, God, no.
Like, you guys didn't have cell phones, so I know she wasn't like, how's the baby? Like,
I need a picture.
Bro.
I did feel bad, though, because, again, like we said, Diesel usually comes and goes between the two houses.
He does, yeah.
So just the fact that he was locked in the one part of the house, and I was like, man, that kind of sucks for him, but... Yeah, I knew it'd be better once Riley got here and was spending more time. Just more time.
Just even in the house.
Presence. Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, he does better. But he does also, like, he can both be crazy energetic, which they've kind of seen. Like, he's attacked me one time when I was recording. He just jumped up on me randomly and just walked in. And I was like, what the fuck? And he's just like
Good
putting
boy,
his
Diesel.
claw on my like throat. I'm like, oh.
Just standing claw.
Yeah. It's like, shit, dude. But then there's other times like he's chill. He just wants to fucking lay in his bed for a couple hours. You don't got fucking like he won't even follow you around, which sometimes he does, and he'll just chill. Like he's very. It depends on the day, but then there's other days it's like, dude, you won't fucking calm down.
Dude,
like,
I took him out the first time and he spent like half an hour just chasing birds, back and forth, just chasing birds. And I took him out the next time. We took like 3 steps outside, and I looked at him, and he just stops and he looks at me, and I'm like,
yep.
I'm like,
there's times you'll let him out, and you think he has to pee, and then he'll just stand on the porch.
yeah. I'm like, are you going? I was just like, are you going to the fucking bathroom or not? Like, dude, it's like 28 degrees out,
Yeah.
and there's a wind chill. I'm fucking cold.
You're like, I'm about to leave you out here.
And I like start taking a couple steps, see if he follows me, and he just stays on the porch.
Yeah.
And I put my hand towards the door, and he just turns right around and goes nose to the door. I'm like, great, guess you didn't want to fucking go out, so
Yeah.
we're going back inside.
Hey, he's done that. I mean, he's pretty resilient. He would have died as a puppy, honestly, if he was scared of the cold. I've left him out at night one time.
I wasn't scared for him. I was scared for me.
Like, I can't.
He's a big fluffy dog. I knew he'd be fine. I was fucking cold.
Yeah, I mean, like, he wasn't like super young when that happened, but he was less than a year. And my mom was out of town. I wasn't living here yet, and she was like, "Hey, can you go like stay at the house, take care of Diesel?" Blah blah blah. I was like, "Yeah." And so I go. This was at the point where like he couldn't necessarily hold it in all night. Which every once in a while, he still might wake you up to be like, I want to go out, but typically very seldomly. And so he woke me up at like fucking midnight. And I'm like, fuck, let him out. And I sit there and I sit in the couch half asleep. I'm like, oh, fuck me. And then I go to the door. I'm like, where is he? Like, okay. And I get him in. And then he wakes me up at like fucking 2 or 3 or some shit. And I let him out. And then...
You just laid the fuck back down.
No, I let him out. I fucking closed the door and I went back to bed. It's like, I'll wake up in a couple hours.
He won't.
He did. He's fine. He was good. But I just like woke up and I was like, he's still there? And I was like, hey, what's up?
Your mama would have your ass. She'd
Yeah.
beat you upside
Bro,
silly.
it'd be so bad. I can't even imagine if he actually died. God.
I'm not even talking about if he died. I'm talking about if she found out.
Oh, she knows.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well.
she knows I've done that. But like, it was just, and the funny thing is, my mom didn't want him when we first got him. Like, it was
That's
mine
how
and my
every
sister.
pet
That's
story
how
starts.
it always
That's
starts.
how every pet story is.
Always starts that way.
Yeah.
It's always the parents. I don't want him. Fucking first night he sleeps in her bed. Like
Sold.
Well, part of it was he wouldn't shut up. He wouldn't deal with the cage. He was just like, fuck this shit. And he ended up shitting while he's in the cage. So my mom had to pull him out, wash him, and then she's like, fine, you can sleep in here. And then guess what? That's where he fucking slept every night.
Yep. That's always how it goes. It's always the one that says
Yep.
they don't want it, and then they get it, and it's like, you will never touch this.
Then now
fucking
you ask my
animal.
dog, whose dog is it? She'll say it's hers. And I'm like, okay.
No, it's not.
It was
It's
ours. We were the one. Hey, we still did help pay for him, and we were the one that put the idea in your head to even bring him home. So I mean, we get some credit.
Did I tell you that we rescued a stray cat the other day?
Like for good, or just like for a day?
No, Jesus. I don't know what happened now, but I passed it on to another home. So
What'd you do?
I just fucking threw it down the street. That's a lie.
Okay.
Did
The
not.
foxes will get it, dude. What are you doing?
There's a fox around my
Bro,
house too.
there's-
That's the best part.
We got foxes in
I've
town.
caught that fucker underneath my truck.
Yeah.
No, dude, this big ass cat kept coming up to the back door, and I mean this big ass cat.
Oh damn. That's a big cat.
That's a big fucking cat, dude.
Wow.
He kept coming up to the back porch. Y'all don't get to see, but he kept coming up to the back porch, and where my back porch is, there's those 2 glass doors.
Yeah.
He would just sit there and look inside. Scared the fucking shit out of our cat, for starters.
Mm-hmm.
She was not happy
She's like, who the fuck are you?
at all. She was hissing and swatting at us. Her hair standing on edge. Like, dude, her head looked like a fucking cotton ball on the side of a watermelon. Like, that's how puffed up she made the rest of her body. But then her head just stayed tiny. It was really stupid. And so I think I might have a picture of that one.
Do you see that motherfucker out there looking in our window?
She was in distress. Like, she was.
Imagine put yourself in the cat's shoes. Imagine you're just chilling in your house.
Here's a video.
And oh shit, yeah.
Yeah, so she's not happy. I walked through at one point in the night, and there's just two eyes through. And fucking paint the picture, guys. You're walking through your house. It's pitch black. Getting that glass of water at like 10:30. You got a glass door on the back of your house, and there's two fucking eyes looking at you through it. Scared the shit out of me. Scared the shit out of Alex. Did it to all three of us.
Yeah,
and then
she don't like her.
No, not even a little bit. But like, look how puffed up the rest of her body is, and her head's just tiny.
But it's like, imagine you had a glass slide-in door, and then you're just at home alone, and then you fucking happen to walk back through, and there's just a motherfucker just sitting there.
There's just eyes.
Well, just imagine if it was a guy, like another guy, because it's like cat and cat. Imagine just a random dude just fucking sitting out there. Just looking at your door. It'd be like, what the fuck is going on right now?
That's fight or flight, buddy.
Yeah.
That's fight or
so
flight.
that's what's going on with her. She's like, who is this motherfucker?
So when this cat started showing up, I got on the community page for town.
Oh yeah.
And I started looking if anybody had stray cat.
Yeah,
anything. So like, why is this cat coming up to the fucking door?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not scared of people, and I'd gotten really close to it, and it's not scared of people. So I'm like, this may have been a cat that got out, and I found somebody who had lost a cat, looked just like it. I'm not convinced it's not that cat, to be honest with you. But regardless, I messaged her and I was like, hey, I found that this cat keeps coming to my house. It looks like the one that you said you lost. Like, is this your cat? She said no, but she said she usually takes in a couple of stray cats, and she would be willing to take that cat if I caught it. And so that started like a week and a half process of me and Alex trying to catch the cat on the back deck and then go shut the gate. I had to leave the back gate open for the cat to come in to the fencing area to get up to the door. And so I left the gate open, and whenever I saw the cat on the back deck, I'd try to sneak out, close the gate, trap him in the area, and call that fucking lady to come get the cat. And he kept sneaking out. Like, as soon as I'd walk away from the glass door to go to the back fence to lock him in, the fucker would bolt or something. I finally got him, and we cotched his ass into the garage. And then once we got him in there, that lady came and picked him up, and so he went.
Damn, you're a stray cat rescuer. Look at that.
Yeah, that was like Tuesday. It was like Tuesday night of last week.
Oh yeah.
And now today it's like 18 degrees outside, so we're like, I feel pretty good about getting that cat somewhere to. I mean, he was nice. I mean, you see in the picture, he's sitting in her lap, and we just picked her up.
Yeah, true. Yeah, he seemed friendly enough.
I mean, he was like meowing a bit and a little confused.
Yeah, definitely.
But at one point, Alice just picked him up and put him there, and he just stayed.
He just hung out. That's cool.
So yeah, she came and picked him up, messaged me back and said, hey, we cleaned him up. He's doing well. Thanks again. And I was like, hell yeah. Rescued a little stray kitty.
Oh yeah.
I say little. The fucker's huge.
Yeah, he looked like a big cat.
He also got into a cat fight in my driveway with
cool.
another stray cat.
Oh.
And I got the video of that too.
Bro, what is going on around your house now? It's just
I don't know, dude.
Cat mania.
But I'll tell you what, all this shit started after I stopped seeing the fox. So I don't know. Maybe the fox was fixing some shit.
Yeah, they weren't coming in the area.
Yeah. So this stray cat and another stray cat just start going at it, dude. I mean, like, you're watching the fur fly. Like, I just lost it.
Should I be concerned?
I mean,
graphic content?
I mean,
just cat fight.
It's a literal cat fight. Here, I'm gonna cut to the good part. Right there.
Oh, yeah. Whoa.
Yeah.
The fur be flying.
Yeah. I don't know why she's trying to talk to them. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
Oh my god.
Dude.
She grabbed a stick.
Yeah, she grabs a stick and starts fucking waving it at him.
She's chasing the cats. Oh wow. Okay. Yeah, they did go at it,
Dude.
bro. They did take some chunks of fur off.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
That's
Damn.
fucking brutal, dude.
I love how your garage door is open and then she just walks out and they just fucking go at it. Was that your garage door?
Yeah, that's the best part about it. They're in the garage.
Oh yeah. What the fuck?
This starts off in the garage.
And then they just fucking go for each other's necks. Damn.
And that shit was on site.
Apparently.
I'm like, why are all these stray cats in my garage?
Damn. Some cat gangs.
Dude, like
running
I said,
around.
I stopped seeing the fox, and all of a sudden this shit's going on. Like, I don't know what to do
It's
with
falling
this.
apart, dude.
It is. It's falling apart at the seams. Neighborhood's gone to shit.
Yeah. Cats everywhere.
Cats out of the bag.
Damn. Well,
I won't apologize for that pun.
no, yeah, you should, but
I won't. I don't have any other cat fight videos.
No.
But
yeah, I think that's enough cat videos.
I can't wait to see how that audio comes through.
Yeah,
my
me
iPhone
too.
mic to your recording
Yeah,
mic.
we'll see how that works out. But honestly, I think we might just call it because I don't know what time it is. We've probably been recording over an hour. Have we?
Probably.
Yeah, I could probably guarantee it. I don't have my watch, so it's a toss up.
Any guesses?
Oh, like time? What time it is?
Yeah.
Ooh, I'm gonna say it's at least not 9:05.
It is indeed at least 9:05.
Oh shit! What time is it?
Let me double check.
Okay.
It's 9:25.
Oh, okay. So this is a 2-hour podcast.
Evidently so.
Hey, it's a guest podcast. It is what it is.
We can end it on a cat fight.
Yeah, we can end that on a cat fight. But no, I do appreciate you coming out since Riley was a little busy this week and everything. But no, Riley, I
fuck him.
think 100% wants to do an episode with you, on like with him, obviously.
Yeah, just let me know.
And then maybe if you or Freddie or both of you are down to maybe do a live stream here closer to Christmas, I think that'd be fun. Because yeah, we talked about it, and I was like, I'd be down to do one a month, even if it's not like 4 hours long or whatever, and it's just a couple of us, and we just kind of bullshit and
Just
do
talk
some
about
stuff.
dates and times and shit, and we'll figure it out.
For sure. But no, I appreciate it, and I hope you guys did enjoy this episode. I always say this at the very end, which I shouldn't. I should say it a lot earlier. But if you guys did enjoy and you've made it this far, please consider liking and subscribing. Hopefully we hit 200 by the end of the year, and we'll go from there. Next milestone. But
Yeah, apparently you should have said it about an hour ago. Huh?
yeah, I should have said it a long time ago. I always wait too long. So
They've already left.
they did.
Nobody hears this.
Nope, they're gone already.
This is just for you, the loyal ones.
Yeah,
You homies.
Yeah, it's true. The real ones. But thank you guys, and I hope you guys all had a great Thanksgiving. Peace out, everybody.